Okay.
Hello, beautiful people. This is 34th Moksha Coffee, and today we will talk about a really important topic, and it's why do we feel drained in daily life? So Zoran had actually two talks about that topic here in Balkan, and we thought it's a good idea actually to share that to more people. So that's why we decided to have that topic. Zoran, do you want
Yes.
to say something?
Hello, everyone, and it's an important topic, and it's becoming increasingly a top priority issue with a lot of people, especially people who come and see me for help or treatments or sessions. One of the first things they complain about is that they feel lack of energy at some level.
And how often do they come with that topic, with that issue?
I would say 90 to 95%.
Yeah, because I have that also like questions from many friends,
Mhm.
family, also myself.
Mhm.
And what is the common between all that people with that topic?
Um, they complain about lack of energy, and oftentimes the body feels heavy, but the source of lack of energy is not in the body. Okay, so it's a really interesting topic to research if somebody wants to.
And what are the most common reasons for that?
Well, there are many reasons. I would say the top reason is always stress. So
Okay.
it's some sort of psychosomatic input to which we react, and then the chain reaction happens. But there are many reasons, and they're individual for every person. And to
But do you have
to
like
find out exactly what's going on, you have to backtrack things. You start from let's say point in the body where we feel it the most, and then you backtrack it to actually find what's going on.
yes, but what are the most common reasons that you actually that you saw? So is that always like stress and something which is connected to inner world,
Yes,
or
it's
is there something from outside so that also can cause that?
okay. There are it's always inner world. It's always, even though there are many things that are causing this from the outside, from that perspective, the environmental stuff.
Okay.
But one has to ask the question, why why am I here in this situation? Okay, so ultimately it is up to our free choice, and some decisions or choices we took in the past that brought us to that point. Regardless how the world looks, we can talk about the worldly affairs today, but they're all consequences of either group or individual consciousness. So a lot of times, actually, I would say most of the times, I can't take a claim to 100%, but I would say 99.99999% is the problem is with the self.
Okay, when you say that, but for example, nowadays we have wars all around the world.
Yes.
Many people are suffering.
Yes.
And there is a group consciousness, right?
Mhm.
And for example, in my case,
Mhm.
if I watch some videos or something,
Mhm.
and also I have some friends in Iran,
Mhm.
and when I saw all that suffering,
Mhm.
I don't feel good. So is that I can't understand quite well. Is that mine? Is that about me? Or is that about the world? Because I can't do anything about it.
Yes, it is your reaction to what is.
So it's always me.
Yes,
Even
correct.
though if it is outside, it's me
Yes.
because it's my reaction.
Yes.
So just to understand, thank you. Yeah.
Yes, because how we react to things, like you mentioned this example, we all know, and we can we can argue forever that everything comes from one source, and the one source created good and bad, all that stuff. But what do I do with this information in this world, in this plane of living? And so one way of looking at these things is if you can step into neutrality, so be neutral, and then observe from that point, that will help a lot. But it takes a lot of spiritual effort to get to that point. So it's not really practical to do that. If you see somebody suffering, whether it's human or animal, please do help. Okay, because it is humanely to do so. But I'm arriving at the point why people react to that is because, you see, you mentioned this issue with the wars, and it's a reflection of the group consciousness. On the individual consciousness, we are pushed into the system. I call it matrix, where people compare and compete against each other. So, and you all experience that if you're working for some corporation or some collective of people who are working on something, there's always competition, there's always comparison within the teams, and then outside the teams, companies are competing against each other and comparing against each other and so on. And then in the end, countries and people. So you get to the point where one group of people who call themselves, let's say, Western world, they are competing for resources which belong to all of us on this planet, but there's a allowance on the group consciousness that belongs to one person, and they start competing for resources, and they are justifying that competition with killings and wars and making different political systems and so on. So there's a lot going on in the background before you actually come to the point of observation. There's some injustice happening in the world, that a person is killing another person, and then you have to take sides. So yes, if it gets to the point, for example, if the house is burning, you're not going to stay in the house, you're going to jump through the window, right? But you can't live like that in the reactive mode, because you will drain a lot of your energy, right? You have to start undoing this system by backtracking why that happened, and then work on the real issue, and that is lack of awareness in today's world. They call it in spiritual terms, they call it ignorance, where we all equal and same, we all come from the same source, but we compete and compare against each other.
Yes, when you mentioned that with the companies, for example, I think that I can recognize their pattern, which is actually usually picks up from the families, from that level, from the first level. That's the first level of our existence,
Yes.
our family. So, like, because it's expectation that we need to be something.
Yes.
So, and that expectation then goes to our jobs. So all the time, I spent 20 years in companies, in good companies, but still there was always like that kind of tension that I have to do something. I have to, not maybe because somebody asked me directly to fulfill somebody's expectations, but that was already built in.
Yes.
And I was just doing that when I was in the school. Then I just continued
Yes.
to that when I
Yes.
start working.
And what you said is that the belief that I have to be something, right? I am already something. So
can I just ask, do you think that that's one of the ways to lost a lot of energy?
yes. So what happens is people take up wrong identifications with the concept. And there's a concept that acts as a living thing in our life. A concept, for example, or idea that the world is separate. The idea that I cannot survive unless I work for the money, and so on and so on. There's a lot of ideas which are stacked one on top of the other, and then that creates a really complex structure which we need to maintain. And one of the things you said, um, uh, I need to become something. I need to be something. Is that how you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's hidden behind all that is something that that's called self-doubt and confusion, right? So the biggest obstacle for the mankind, or for men, for one, on this planet is the idea that we are not enlightened being, right? So that is the biggest obstacle to realization of the whole universe within you. Once when that realization happens, you don't need to compare or compete with anyone, because you are as you are, and there's a whole universe in you. So there's no reason then to do things like that. So by maintaining the concept of idea of separation, one has to slip into overexertion and overextension of energies, right? Because I'm constantly striving to achieve something which is running away from me and fleeting, simply because everything is changeable in this world. Everything is transient, so it doesn't last forever. And it's almost like chasing a mirage uh, uh, to quench the thirst, right? And you will end up dying from exhaustion and thirst, right? Because you will never ever be able to catch it. So if you are in the situation like this, and this is very common, whether you are working for the company, or in some private business, or anything, any doingness on the outside, uh, where you feel that you are overexerted and overextended with your energies, there's a great point for that. Okay, you can massage these 2 points here. So just you find your clavicle bone here, and you go between the ribs here once, and then second, right? So this is the intercostal space between rib 2 and 3, okay? And you massage here, okay? So that is the great point. And then you can put one hand on the forehead like this and consider your life situation, chasing for the money, chasing for success, chasing for more and more, and building things. And it's never enough. I have to do this. I must do this, and so on. And that leads in a great extension and exhaustion of energies, right? So once when you consider that's your situation, then try to relinquish everything that is in your environment and surrender it to the universe to handle the details of living. So that is one of the
The hardest thing.
really great points to massage, to increase the energy, to shift the energy, but also to shift your awareness. And once when your frequency returns back to the frequency of human being, then the ability to manifest different reality is much easier, and the energy levels come up. So when we talk about the lack of energy, there is no point that in true reality that the energy leaks somewhere forever. Okay, energy cannot be destroyed, but with these investments of ourselves into the wrong identifications and roles that we play in our life, which are important but not that important, we are creating compensations within our body. And then once when the body starts compensating, it needs to block energy. So we're talking about the blockage of the energy. So the flow of chi energy is not appropriate. Therefore, if my energy is blocked on the inside, the outer reality will be manifested as per that, because the universe responds to our frequency, not to our wishes or words.
Okay, so
Rosna.
yeah, as you know, I came from IT. That's my background, and that's why I like points. I like some, like
Yeah.
structures. So if you can just help me to understand. So we have like our reactions to outer world, right? That's one of the reasons for that energy.
Yes, but not only that, we are actually feeding that system with that, you see. For example, if you look at, let's say, the easiest thing, right?
Okay.
Look at the state of the world today. Okay.
Okay.
So what can you say? Is this a golden age, or
No, that's terrible.
okay
And
age?
I even don't believe it what people are saying. So new age, new this, new that, this dimension, that dimension, and people are killing themselves all around the globe.
In the actual fact, we have problems in our hands, right? But people are feeding that.
And for example,
they're feeding it with their attitudes, right?
Okay.
Because the system, the matrix, which is surviving, the matrix is there. I call it matrix. You call it whatever you want to call it. Okay, your world. It is there so that it can survive, right? And it's feeding on the collective consciousness, and we contribute that with the individual consciousness. It's trying to survive. But anything that is outside of the human energy doesn't have the energy of the source. So it cannot give any energy, it can only take the energy. And one of the biggest sources of the energy for the system outside is the fear, is the frequency of human fear, which is really not, it is not part of our reality. So when you stop doubting yourself, when you stop being in confusion of who you are, you will be able to live and manifest this life as per human frequency instead of frequency of the fear. Okay, and the frequency of the fear, there are many of them. Okay, I'm gonna lose a job, and then if I lose a job, I'm gonna lose money. If I lose money, then I'm going to lose the car, I'm going to lose the house. In the end, I'm going to lose life. Okay,
so it's our perception.
It's our perception that we, as ourselves, by ourselves, are not enough. Okay, and that is actually the biggest illusion that people live, and the system through the media and marketing industry and everything is actually fueling that, because the only thing how the system and the one we talked about on the outside of us today, how it can survive on negativity, right? Because if everything's positive and complete and fulfilled, nobody can sell you anything. You can't buy anything because everything's fine. But the whole system is built on negativity, and feeding that negativity to the population who are reacting and responding to that with fears is creating this great illusion that there is something outside of us which is not in our control.
Okay, so that's one aspect actually. All that we talk now, it's one aspect. And what's going on? For example, there are some other stuff. For example, Wi-Fi.
Yes.
It's well known that it's not really healthy.
Yes.
Right?
Well,
and you said it's my decision. So how I can survive, of course, without Wi-Fi, but like it's something which is pretty much normal today. It's how that that kind of things affect this topic, and also how we can avoid them. Maybe they are not actually so much dangerous for our energy. I don't know.
No, look, it's a topic that nobody wants to talk about. right?
Okay, then we can do it just short, just to have some understanding at least about it.
And everybody's turning their blind eye towards it, or they're turning their back towards it.
Can I just say something? Sorry, before you start.
Yes.
For example, when I spend more time on the phone, if I hold the phone in my hand, if I, for example, if I watch something, sometimes I watch a movie or something, after maybe 25 minutes, I have pain in my hand.
Yes.
And I experienced that.
Yes.
So there is something.
Look, there's, I don't know how to answer this, right? Because there are many topics now that you opened.
Yeah,
right?
you can just shortly, so we can understand. Is it really
okay?
like kind of dangerous?
Let's start with the basic things. Okay, our gross body, the physical body, is governed by a subtle level, which is let's call it mental. Okay, so it is not the physical aspect, something which we can physically feel or see, but it is within us and we are aware of it. Okay, so it is like a mental aspect of us, or psyche, and that governs our physical gross body. But behind the psyche level is a much subtler level, which is called energy level, right? And here we talk about chi energy, ki energy, prana, bioenergy, energy, whatever you call it, we're talking about the same thing. And that subtle level is easily disturbed by the gross frequencies. For example, microwave radiation, which is really what we're talking about with mobile phones. They are increasing the intensity. So now we used to have 2G, then 3G, then 4G, then 5G. And if you look at the history in the last 20 years of people, diseases and everything, you can actually link it with the. There are some studies which can actually show you that there are spikes in different diseases and deaths with introduction with these frequencies. I believe ultimately, because this is not point to make it like a dystopian future, but I believe that people are adaptable beings, because we adopted to many environmental factors and we survived. Okay, but it takes time to do that, and the danger here is that the adaptation requires a lot of resources, right? And then if there are too many adaptations given at the same time, our bodies may lose ability to adopt, and this is the problem. Okay, and for example, not only 5G, there's also 6G that is bombarded to us from satellites. There are also other environmental factors like air pollution, pesticides, the different preservatives and chemical compounds, synthetic chemical compounds, which are being pumped into our food source, water source, and all these things. And every day they're inventing new synthetic chemical compounds in the laboratories, so that the corporations who are producing so-called food can maximize their profits. So here in this environment, you need to understand that the human being, human body, and human life is of least of the importance, and it is basically used as something to be consumed. Right? It is so basically you are being consumer of something, and then in the end you become consumed. Right? So there are a lot of things, and for example, if you're holding your phone constantly emits radio frequency because it's trying to find its connection with the mobile towers, and that energy is disrupting your chi energy in your meridians in your body. So, for example, in your hand here, you have six channels passing. You have 3 on this side and 3 on this side. They are yang and yin channels, and every time you disturb the energy, your body needs to adapt to it, and then it will create compensation, and then you will feel energy drain somewhere. Plus, the effect of these mobile phone screens, the blue light, LED light, it is scientifically proven that it's blocking vitamin D in your body. So this is what I'm saying. There are so many factors that are influencing and contributing and building up or stacking up on the top of this issue. But the basic point is that we humans, we allowed all this, right? And we allowed it because we accepted a notion that we of ourselves are not enough, and that for our survival we need to compare and compete against each other, right? So you start from the individual self, and then you spread that in your social environment, your city, town where you're living, your countries, your continents, and then you get to the point where you see all these terrible wars and calamities that are happening for no particular reason. There's absolutely no reason for that to happen, because this planet has enough resources to accommodate room for population which is 100 times larger than today's. And that is the true fact. This planet is a real paradise, but the resources are not distributed appropriately, and the reflection of that is, or the mirror of that is actually same in our body, because our energy is not distributed properly through our channels. So the disharmony on the inside equals disharmony on the outside.
Let me go back for a moment on the topic, on the last thing that you said. So regarding to all that factors which they really comes from outside. So you said they are here and we have to adjust.
Yes.
What can help us to adjust? Like, for example, to be in a balance, or to try to eat more quality food, or for example, if I turn off my Wi-Fi at night, all my neighbors will not do that. So what is the
I'll show you here on my phone. Okay. What you can do, there's this button which is called flight mode. Okay. You can turn that on when you go to sleep. You can also turn your mobile phone into a developer's mobile phone. So you have this extra icon which blocks all the sensors. So
which one?
This one.
This one.
Yes, this one here. That one.
Oh, okay, that one like this.
So what happens is there's a way how to do it. You can Google it. It's easy. So once when you turn that off, this stops being tracking device. So it stops listening to you, tracking you, all that stuff. Okay. So that is a good thing, because when you're sleeping, last thing you want is something disturbing your energy wise and sucking energy from your meridians while you're sleeping. This is quite dangerous device. So, but for example, if I turn the Wi-Fi on, okay, so as you can see here, there's my Wi-Fi network here, but there's also my neighbors around here. So, for example, we're living in a smaller building, but there are apartments around us. So imagine if you're living in a higher or bigger apartment building, which most people live in Balkans, you'll have hundreds of these, right? So you can turn your mobile network off, but you will get others and so on. So what you can do in that case is turn your mobile or Wi-Fi router, or how do you call it, modem or router? Router. You turn it off before you go to bed, and during the day, don't keep it near you or in the level of the body. Keep it on the highest point near the ceiling in the house. So they will help a lot.
Okay.
So there are ways around it, but
not much, basically, because you can't do anything with air pollution.
Exactly, that's the world we're living in. We need to adopt everything that is pushed towards us as a way to control us. Also helps us to better connect. So, for example, some people say that all these social networks and Facebook were designed to control people, to learn their behavior and so on. That may be true, but also what backfired to that idea is that the people connected more. So people are now more connected and exchanging ideas and all that stuff. So that allows people to return back to themselves, to their nature, to offer different ideas how to live healthy and balanced lives.
So that's really good. There are some also good points. There. So some things that we can actually use.
Yes. So use this, but be aware that it's not really a healthy thing to have, and just be conscious of and be responsible how you use it.
Yeah. Can I say, like, being in balance and being aware can really help us to adapt to that new world, which is actually already here today.
Yes. Yes, but there's also unresolved practical riddle of that life, So I can stay here in meditation and contemplation all day, but nobody has anything to do with it. Who knows that I'm in meditative state? Who knows that I'm in expanded state of consciousness, right? So sometimes action is needed, So that's the thing. Let's say, for example, if you feel energy drain, and that can be, for example, we discussed how we are identified with the wrong ideas or concepts, and then we start expending our life energy on something that is not really true. It is just an illusion, and then how body reacts to that. Okay, if you give, or your mind, if your mind gives to your body an idea that war is coming, calamity is coming, of some sort, I'm going to run out of money, I need to do this, need to do that, the body will respond and react chemically by producing more stress hormones. And then there are governing aspects in our body, which basically is our brain controlling, and they're called axes, right? So there's different axes of command or control, and one of them is called hypothalamus adrenal axis, where our hypothalamus controls our adrenal system. And then once when we put ourselves under stress by identifying with the external concept or idea, then the body will start directing body resources to maintain hypothalamic adrenal axis. So it will give the priority of function to that axis. So then other axis, for example, hypothalamus gastrointestinal will lack attention, or hypothalamus gonad will lack attention, and so on. So once when you're under stress, the body, one of the first hormones which is being depleted is a hormone called pregabalin, or pregabalin. I don't know how you pronounce it. I call it pregabalin, and that hormone is a precursor of many steroid hormones used by your adrenal glands, but primarily that hormone feeds your reproductive system, right? So then your reproductive function stops, and then that starts to affect different aspects of the body, and then adrenal glands are being disbalanced because there's huge demand for stress hormones, and then your thyroid gland also lowers the function, and the whole system goes, right? So you start from one thing, and then you create a chain reaction of things, and then given the period of time, things start to develop, and then it is much more difficult to correct things when it shows up on the physical body, right? But before it shows up on the physical body, there's a time which preceded that manifestation, which needs to be resolved. So I deal with this in kinesiology sessions very often, and I must say successfully. But it really depends on the person and the will of the person to change the person's life. That is of crucial importance here. So when, for example, people say, okay, they develop something, and they say, oh, that's because you eat sugar. But I ask the question, why do you eat sugar? Right? You eat sugar because you're already in this balanced state. Okay, so if your meridians and your system was in balance, you would never ever need sugar in your diet. But why do we eat sugar? It's because we depleted our stress hormones, adrenaline, cortisol, and all that, and then the brain is panicking because it needs these chemicals to function. So it starts looking for a quick fix, and one of them is sugar. So sugary laden foods, they spike adrenaline. Once when you ingest that food, they increase the levels of adrenaline, and then you temporarily feel okay. But then problems start later, because we know that sugary foods are extremely acidic. So once when the body turns from alkaline base to acid base, there are millions of things that start happening in the body to compensate for that. So there, as you can see, everything starts from the stress. And again, there are two elements which industry is keeping us addicted to: junk food. They're all white in color, and they are salt and sugar, right? So with the salt and sugar, they achieve a particular taste. They also add chemicals to it.
And flour, no?
Yeah, I mean flour, of course, but I'm talking about the actual taste. Flour is the base that carries that, okay, and or starch, yeah. So and then they start adding different emulsifiers and chemicals to maintain it. So we basically clog up our system, and then our liver becomes clogged up, and then of course we can't feel energetic. So there is a really good way, and I'll show you now how to clean your body, how to add to detox your body in a really good way, and it takes about I recommend the full month, but let's say try to do this at least 21 days, right? So you wake up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning, because at that time the body is in its peak time for detox. You drink 1.5 liters of clean, pure water, not water from the tap. And of course, you're not gonna dump all that water in you at once. You will sit and try to consume it within half an hour, okay, in small sips, right? And then while you're drinking water, you can eat nine almonds. They're fantastic for alkalizing the body, right? I suggest that you soak up these almonds in the water the night before, so they release enzymes. Much healthier to eat almonds like that,
And easier.
and easier. Okay, and don't discard the skin, because the skin contains most of the nutrients. So eat approximately 9, or if you don't want to count, let's say half of the fistful of almonds, and also half of the banana. Okay, so I'll repeat: 1.5 liters of water, 9 almonds soaked in the water prior to that, and half banana. And you do this for approximately 21 days, and make sure that you wake up at 4:30 a.m. every morning. And that will greatly contribute to detox, and you will see that you will feel much better and energetic. But once when we return our energy and human frequency, the questions will start popping up. What am I doing here? Why am I doing this? All these things, which is actually a good way to consider how we focus and use our human energy, rather than maintaining the some sort of system which is not really for us. We can direct all that energy to create a life with a purpose. And that is something which also I want to talk about here. Once when we gain or regain our energy, and when we focus that energy for something that contains a higher purpose, and higher purpose is always something which gives energy back to the universe rather than takes, that will create a generator of positive energy, which will keep you going every day. So your health, your body, everything else actually aligns behind that, because it is of really secondary priority, and it will govern itself. So you will regain great health as you regain your true energy, which will then manifest itself in a life with a purpose. So try to feed the people who don't have food. Try to feed wild animals in the nature. Try to exercise kindness and love toward other human beings. There are so many things which we can do, and because the subtle level controls the gross level. Start with little things, start with micro action to create great change for this world.
Okay. That was my also question. So you took already my question. So now I just need some time.
I'll show you one more correction. For example, I was talking about the craving for sugar. If you crave for sugar, then you are most likely suffering from or going towards burnout. And one of the ways to quickly correct that is first tap some points in the body which control sugar metabolism. So I suggest that you take 5 fingers like this. You connect them like in a shape like this, and then you start tapping here. Okay, just here on the side. Okay, you start tapping there, and then with the other hand you do the same. You start tapping here and here. Okay, so do let's say this side like this. So you can tap like this intermittently, or you can tap at the same time, doesn't matter. So you tap, 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 tap like this for about half a minute, and then you change sides, and you do same here.
So is it important to be on the same side? Both hands are on the same side of the body?
Yes, do it, okay? If you forget which side, then don't worry about it. It is not complicated. Body will know. Okay? So you tap that like this, and then you measure 4 fingers from the wrist on the top of your hand, like this, and then you take this point in the middle there, and you massage it for about half a minute deeply. Try to use acupressure. So again, 4 fingers here, and the point is here. Okay, so you massage that point. This is a point related to your thyroid gland and your adrenals. So you massage that, and then we do a point here. So in the on the other side of your elbow, on the inside of your hand. So the point is approximately, it's right in the middle here, okay, but a little bit towards the ring finger, okay, on that line, okay, and the point is on the upper hand part, okay, in the joint, okay. So stick your thumb in there and circle a little bit to find the painful point. Of course, don't hurt yourself. Massage at the level of the pain. Be careful that you don't hurt yourself. This point controls your circulation meridian, which actually has connection to every cell in your body. So it is the only meridian in your whole body which touches every cell in your body. Okay, so you will then balance your body, and people will ask, oh, how about, is it left or right side? Yes, okay, do the same on the other side. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you start left and then right, or right and then left, it doesn't matter, right? So same with these points. So balance your sugar level in the body, or sugar metabolism. This will also greatly improve the circulation, blood flow, and the blood pressure. And then do the other side as well.
Can we use that one, Zoran, when we feel low sugar? You know, like when you start
trembling. Yes, you can do that. And then while you're doing that, make some good decisions about your diet. You know, our body. You know why they don't advertise things like, you never find advertising for almonds or bananas or apples, because they're good for you. That's why. So and then they're natural. Do you ever find a commercial ad for carrots or pumpkins? You know, things like that. Okay, so it's really crazy, but it is the way it is. So try to eat whole food, natural food, organic food. Make some dietary changes. I always suggest vegan option, because it also contains non-violence. So it is the food which is not produced by any violence, which greatly improves our frequency. And drink plenty of water, and then you will see how your body is starting to respond, how it's starting to function differently, but also the quality of your thoughts is changing. So the point of all this is not that you maintain the stress level. You know, like people sign up and do yoga so that they can endure stress at work, you know. So, okay, do that, stabilize yourself, but then consider why you're in a stress situation in the first place, you know. So
go back to the root and
go back to the root
change it there.
and then change it there, and then you will see how you can greatly contribute to this humanity and mankind with your energy, with your being, and change things from the individual perspective rather than forcing things upon others.
There's one more thing that I would like to mention before we finish, which I notice. So I notice when we give something to the world, we actually we get much more. So that's what when you said life with a purpose, with a higher purpose. You said like that.
Yes.
But so I will not ask you what that mean because you already mentioned what that mean. But I would like just to say this from just like that small daily life, and what is my experience there. For example, if I do something really easy, if I if I share something what I have with somebody who needs it, outside, right? I always feel good. So when I give, I got so much energy back.
Yes.
And I feel much better. So that's one of the ways, in simple words, right, to actually
Yes.
to gain your energy back.
Yes, and I will finish off or sign off with a suggestion that you do this exercise. You can do this immediately. Stand in front of the mirror, and then make a movement as if you are taking, right? And as you can see, I see myself in the mirror in the screen here, and I'm doing this. And then what I'm observing is that the picture is actually taking away from me. So really, it's the law of the universe.
So giving, actually,
exactly. The law of the universe says if I'm taking, I'm losing, right?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the universe is the mirror, so it actually mirrors me back. So I'm grabbing only for myself, and then the universe also depletes me. But if I do the opposite, if I start giving like this, right, you will actually see that the universe is giving back. So it's the law of the universe that giving is receiving.
So there are always some people in need. There are some maybe elderly people around us that we can actually help. We can go for small things, just small things, or some orphanage around us, or some, because usually that the small, the young ones and the older ones, they're usually in need.
Yes.
And we can do some small things there, and it will feel better. Yes. And this world will be a better place.
Exactly. So how do we survive? First thing, delete all past. Don't engage into thinking about the past. Don't think about the past. Second thing, never compare yourself and compete against each other. And the third thing, whatever you're doing, do it with 100%. But then you have to do all these three at the same time. So don't worry about the past, not only your individual past, but the past of this world, who did what to each other. It doesn't matter. I'm in here and now. That has passed. Past has passed. It's finished. Don't compare, judge, criticize, compete against each other, because we're all unique. And the universe never produced any aspect of me prior to me, and my appearance is only this here now, and it's unique. So in that sense, we are all unique, and we cannot really compare ourselves with others. There's absolutely no way I can do that. And then whatever you're doing, be with that 100%, and do it with 100% of energy. Focus on that, and that's it, right? And you will see after some time, you will see how life is changing.
Okay, thank you, Zoran. Thank you, all other people, and see you in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes.
So
we'll have a session in Balkan languages
next week.
In the meantime, wherever you coming from whatever angle of the world you're coming from, try to use these exercises and write to us and tell us how you feel, and if you're benefiting from this, let's share all that to the world.
Yes, I agree. So all the best.
Okay, bye now.
Bye.